Hey everybody, this is Derek Dallas. I'm going to be your instructor for 2D animation this semester, and I want to go over a few things with you about the class and about the syllabus and what it is that we're going to be going through, what you'll be doing, and so that way you can get an overview of everything that you're kind of expected to be doing, the things that you'll need, and those kind of things. So first I want to welcome you to the class. This is a fun class. It's something that we get to do a lot of creative things with. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn how to use Flash and After Effects, and we're going to look at manipulating some audio. And with that, it's going to be interesting to learn about all these different types of animation techniques and motion graphics and things that I get super excited about. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in with some of the basics. First of all, you're going to be using Cobra, and Cobra is the content management system that Parkland uses to manage courses. You'll have to have a username and a password, that sort of thing. So hopefully you've seen this already after you've registered. You're going to go there and you're going to load this up. Now I have a video about this that will be on your schedule about using the basics. Now I don't use it as much as other faculty probably, but for the most part you'll have a list of all the classes that you're taking, and when you click one, it'll take you to that class page. It is going to have an area for you to check your email, or little notifications up here that allow you to go to your email. So you can say go to email, and there you can see all the email messages that you have. There's a back on the main page, you have this bar of content or all kinds of different things that you can go to check your grades, for drop boxes if you had to turn in assignments, and then there's content and that sort of thing. One of the things here is that you can have these little links. Here is a CSIT 186 2D animation, and this is going to show you where there are some quizzes that's going to be coming up. And here's a link to the course website. So if you were to go to the course website, you will go to the page that I just had up there, and from that you can see the syllabus, which we're going to go over in a minute, and see the schedule, and from there I'll be going over this with you as well. On the syllabus page, you can see this link here will take you to, again, my home page. I have my email address here, and I have my office hours, which is on my home page, so I have everything kind of in one spot. My office hours are Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 to 9 a.m. and 11 to 12 p.m. and Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 to 9 a.m. And so those are the best times to reach me in my office. Otherwise, I'm in the classroom or going to the classroom or having lunch or something like that. So if you need to reach me at a different time, make sure you set something up with me and just talk to me about it, and I'll try to accommodate. We can also use Gmail to set up a video chat through, I use Google Plus to have video. They're called Hangouts. And I use that to meet with you to discuss issues that you might be having. If you can't get to campus, if the weather's bad, or you just don't want to get out, that's fine too. I don't really care. You can meet with me. Heck, I could meet with you from, well, I'm at home too, so it could be easy for both of us. And so those things are there. I also have on my homepage links to all the classes that I teach or have taught here at Parkland. Some of the blogs that I create for my classes, and some other things about 3D printing, and some things that I'm interested in, video galleries and that sort of stuff. So you can look at that if you want. For the most part, I want to go through the syllabus here and talk about some things. The one thing I do want you to know is that using Cobra, the Cobra email to communicate with me is your best bet. You can also use the Gmail link that I had right here too, but I pretty much am checking my main email, which is the ddallas@parkland.edu. That's the one that's pretty much open all the time on my desk, and everything needs to come pretty much to that. All right, let's get started talking about the actual class and the content that we're going to be working with. In this class, we're going to explore lots of different ideas. You're going to have kind of a survey of the entire history, not the entire history, but the general history of of computer animation. We're going to look at old animations from when the film camera just kind of started being used. And we'll talk about lots of other things as well, and carry on through modern animations and experimental animations and that sort of thing as we go through it. All the while trying and experimenting with these techniques on our own and having projects that reflect that type of content. There is no book associated with this class anymore. I've decided that it was unnecessary. It was an expense that you didn't need to have to bother with, and so I don't have a book here. Everything that we talk about is available in the class. I demonstrate it in class and I go over it, and however, I do recommend a couple books, and I'll get to that in a little bit. The class times, there are two sections of this course. Section 1 is Tuesdays and Thursdays 9 to 11:20, and Tuesdays and Thursdays 1 to 3:20. So section 1 is in the morning and section 2 is in the afternoon. The location of the class is D207, that's in our D wing, and we have a nice facility there. Prereqs for the class is computer or digital animation, digital media foundations, and you can be currently enrolled in that as well in order to get in. Now, one book that I do recommend using is an After Effects book by the authors Chris and Trish Mayer. I would look for the most current editions of it, but the book is called Creating Motion Graphics with After Effects. That's one of the books that has been the highest influence on me to help me understand After Effects. It's something you're going to be using a lot in this class later on. And it's something that if you like motion graphics, you like compositing, you're going to be using it a lot in digital media. And so that book was probably the biggest help to me when I started learning these things many, many years ago. You will need a digital camera and a tripod. That means that you need to have possession of it. It doesn't need to be yours, but you will be using it very frequently in about a month or so, or about 3 weeks. You will be using it to do stop motion animation and your stop motion animation project. So make sure you have a tripod and a digital camera. Holding your iPhone or whatever in your hand and taking 100 pictures isn't going to cut it. That is not going to work. So make sure you have access to one. No, you don't have to buy it, but you do have to have access to it. And unfortunately, we don't have cameras or tripods to loan out to anyone. Again, using Cobra Learning. Cobra is how you'll be keeping up with your grades. I will be posting comments on your Cobra account about each one of the projects that you do. You can keep track of all your homework assignments, the ones that you've missed, and all the quizzes will be given and taken on Cobra. So all of that stuff is done online. You can take it at home. You can it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have access to the internet, you can take those things, turn them in all digitally. You don't have to be in the classroom to take the final exam or the quizzes. You do have to be on campus for the final project critique, which is during finals week. So just something to think about. That's a ways away, but it'll be here before we know it. All right, so let's talk about the web page here. I kind of mentioned that. So we'll move on. I have the link here for for the class web page here. That's where what I'm using to look at the syllabus here. It has your schedule, which is going to lay out the entire semester for you about everything that we're doing in kind of the best way that I could plan. Is it going to stay this way forever? No, it's most likely going to adjust based on weather and any incidences we have in the classroom. We always have fire drills, we always have this or that. And something will come along that will cause me to change some of the schedules. But for the most part, if I could plan a perfect semester, this is kind of how I would approach it. The format of the class is going to be based on lectures. This is how I put things together. When you come into class, I take attendance. I like to have attendance because I like to always have a record of, you know, the frequency of your attendance in the class, because that correlates to usually success. I always like to know who's missing. Were they here yesterday or today? Were they here 2 weeks ago? They missed 2 days, 3 days in a row. That sort of thing is important. I can keep track, not keep track in a kind of negative way, but like know if people are, you know, having trouble with something and they're not coming. I can talk with you, connect with you, and try to figure out if everything's okay. And so I do attendance, and then I talk about the content. I will make a presentation about the current topic of the day in class, and then we'll watch videos. We watch lots and lots of movies. You're going to watch lots of animation. That's what this class is about. So we'll actually just sit back and watch movies, talk about them. How, you know, what did you think of it? And then, then we'll take a break, and that's usually about the first hour. We'll take a break. And then we'll go into a lab period where you either work in studio on your project, or I'll demonstrate techniques and things that I think you need to know. So we'll work with After Effects, and we'll work with Flash, and we'll work with Audition, and we'll work with stop motion techniques, and we'll actually animate some things in the classroom so you can get a feel for it, and I'll demonstrate lots of things in class. And then you'll work on stuff. So that's pretty much how things go. The grades are according to your projects. That makes up 50% of your grades. Quizzes and exams. You have a quiz over every major section, and you have a final exam at the end of the semester. We have classes, studies, and attendance. So all of those things work together to make your final grade. The standard grading scale applies, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50. Anything less is failing. One thing that it's important to note is that if you have a project and you finish it, it's important that you take my critique and then rework that project. You can up the grade that you get. So let's say you work on something and maybe it's not as good as you'd like it to be, or maybe it didn't get the grade that you'd like. You can work on that project and resubmit it and get, I'll look at it again and I'll increase your grade for working on it. I will look at it, see there's improvements. Yes, you've worked on this. You're taking those things that I mentioned into consideration. You've improved it, and I will improve your grade. I think if you're going to work on stuff, you can work on it and resubmit it. And as long as you're making improvements to it and things are going, I mean, I'm really excited about students that take their projects and try to improve them. They don't just do something once, say, okay, I'm done with that, I never want to do that again. But those that say, okay, I did this. This was, this is the best I could do at the time. And now I've got some feedback. The instructors looked at it, other people have looked at it. Here's some of the things that they've said about it. And here's what I'm going to do to make it better, and then make it better. And that's great. And I think that's really important, not only in this class, but in all the classes, to work and rework your projects. I mean, obviously there's a point where it's done. It's time to move on. But you can at least do it once or twice to get a better final product. I think that's just absolutely important in what you're doing and what we're doing here. Projects and studies, and I just recently decided to not go with the book, so I don't have to worry about any readings in this particular class, although you will be reading the notes that I present. The projects are going to be, we think about this as an art class. Even though we're in the computer sciences, we really are an art-based program and curriculum that is focused on images and imagery and composition. All of that is important. Craftsmanship is important. How something moves is important. In this particular class, animation is the art of movement, and breathing life into something that's inanimate. And we're going to be looking at how something moves. Does it move robotically, back and forth? And if it does, is that appropriate? Or does it move with a gracefulness and a natural, organic type of flow? That is important too. And how you do that is part of this process of animation. And so we'll be talking about those things. So thinking about composition, thinking about how things move around a canvas, how you put together the principles, how you use principles of design and elements of design to make your composition work the way that you want it to. Those are absolutely the kind of languages we use, the language we use in this class. One thing that's really important is we stick to the deadlines. One thing that you have to do is make sure that you have your projects finished on time. If it isn't the way you want it, again, I have that rework policy. You can rework it. But you do have to submit something at the time of the project is due. That's absolutely important. If you submit nothing, you get a 0. And from there, if you rework that, maybe you'll get 10 points. But if you submit something, you will have a much better starting point than where you would if you just said you skipped the critique altogether. We have small-scale studies that we do in class that are things that we'll do at home. Maybe you're going to. I always have students do home studies of animation, object animation, puppet animation, clay animation, where you animate for a couple seconds of an object moving, showing different types of movement and motion. Those are really important to get you a feel of the camera, to get you a feel of the final product, what it actually looks like, how the spacing that you use for your objects. So make sure that you do those. It's absolutely important for your growth in understanding what these things mean. Maybe you don't ever want to be a 2D animator. Maybe you want to be a 3D animator. Maybe you don't ever want to animate ever. Whatever it is, this will give you an appreciation and a greater understanding of the art. And maybe you do this for this class, you stick it out, and then you never do it again. But you'll have an understanding greater than anybody else because you will have done it. And you will have seen the results of the choices that you've made in your animation from one frame to another. It's very amazing. Again, I've talked about attendance. I do check attendance. I do keep track of it, and it is important that you come to class. If you don't and you are unexcused for 3 times, that will affect your letter grade. It will lower your letter grade. Now, if for some reason you have something that goes on in life and that you can't come, all I ask you to do is simply let me know. Take ownership of it. Say, you know what, I can't. I'd love to be to class today, but I can't make it due to something out of my control. And I respect that, and that just shows that you care enough to let me know that you can't be there. But some people just disappear and they'll be gone. You miss twice and you miss a week worth of content. And so it doesn't take much to get behind. And so doing so without really good reason looks like you don't care. Gives me the sense that this isn't interesting to you for your career, for your the future. And anyway, it just doesn't look very good, and it does affect your grade. One of the things, again, is core values. If you hear me talk about this in other classes, core values are very important. Honesty, integrity, just treatment, responsibility, multiculturalism, education, public trust. Essentially what I'm saying is, in this environment, this little room that we're in, we have to respect one another. Maybe we're talking about things, we're talking about good things and bad things, but we want to do it in a respectful way. So make sure that you keep that in mind when we're discussing or emailing one another. The withdrawal procedure for this class is that the first couple weeks, the first week, if no one shows up if you don't show up for class, then you will be immediately removed from the roster and you will be withdrawn from the class. After that, I am monitoring your activity, and if you just disappear, you can be withdrawn, but it's your responsibility to withdraw yourself from the class. You'll be on the roster unless I withdraw you or you withdraw yourself. That means that you will get an F at the end of the semester. If you decide that you don't want to be here and you just stop coming, then you will get an F. Your grades will plummet because you'll be getting zeros on whatever assignments are due. So make sure you do withdraw yourself from the course, and you are removed from the roster. We have a Department of Disability Services, and this is an area that You can go if you believe you have a disability and you need services and accommodations made. One of the things that is good that you need to know is that this facility has moved. If you've been on campus, they are now located in U260, and that's in our new student services building, and that building is connected to the B wing, and it's connected to the A wing and some others, but it's that really nice giant building out in front of Parkland now where the buses are. That's the new student center, and on the second floor, U260 is where you can find this facility. And you want to, the director is Kathy Robinson, and you want to go there and they can discuss your needs and make sure they get you, they will accommodate you for the things that you need. The Center for Academic Success is an area in the D wing that you can go to that is actually a helpful area to get academic help, tutors for classes that you are taking that you might need help with. They are down there, it's free of charge. You can go down and you can get help with the classes that you're in, and make sure you do that. Take advantage of these services because those people are there and basically just waiting for you to come down and to take advantage of that service. So utilize that. There's another service that we have. It's called the TRIO program, and the TRIO program assists qualified students in getting the academic skills necessary to transfer to four-year universities. So they have programs down there that, if you qualify for, that can help you. So I would take some time to go check that out and see what services they offer, and it's very important that you do so. It could be very helpful to you in the future. And we have a mass notification system. That is something that you sign up for, and that you are going to be notified if there's a disaster coming or happening, or if there's a dangerous person on the premises, and they'll notify you through your smartphone or through your computer, your laptop, whatever you want, emails. And so make sure that you, if you take advantage of that, if that's something you're interested in. It's certainly something that could be helpful when that sort of thing occurs. One thing that I do want to draw your attention to is a course called Psychology 109. It's about life skills, and it is there to help you to kind of take advantage or to kind of help you with life planning. Actually, here it is right here. Psychology 109, Education, Career, and Life Planning. And it's something that helps you with goal setting and career development and study strategies, library skills, and career preparation. And so if you're returning to college, or if you're just a freshman and you're trying to get things together, you just came out of that high school environment, and now you're suddenly on your own and no one's breathing down your neck about things, this class might be helpful to you. It might help you organize yourself in a way that gets you focused on a clear path to your future. And so this is something that I think is beneficial, and something that it's worth taking the time to take. There's a great new faculty, faculty and staff member who was leading that and taking that class as in leadership, and he's focused on that and making sure that the students that are in that get the best out of it. And so I'm excited about that being there for you. And it is something that I think is very important to consider. It may sound like, oh, another class that you got to take, but really the investment in yourself and in your future may well be worth it. And so that's the basics of my syllabus here. One thing I want to turn to now is the schedule itself. One thing that I am doing is I'm trying to load the schedule with lots of videos, as many videos as I can, that go over the content that we discuss or I demo in class. These videos are there for you to use as review, and I'm going to try to build as many or add as many as I possibly can that review things that we talk about in class. Here in the lecture topics, this is an area, these are PowerPoint presentations that allow you to read in an organized fashion the content for the day. They may be PowerPoint, they may also be just a web page that has content there that you'll be looking at. So when you click on that link, it'll either open up PowerPoint or it'll be a web page, and then from there we'll move on. We have what I expect to be doing in lab. So this is the kind of things you're going to be doing during the lab time, the second half of the class, where you are introduced to the software, and we do different different little studies in the classroom. Here is what we're going to be watching. We're going to be watching lots of movies. This is a list of the kind of films we're going to be looking at for the day. Sometimes there's a lot. Sometimes we watch a lot. And sometimes it can take at least an hour. Usually it's about an hour. And then the assignments that we're going to be doing, reading the notes, studying. Usually I have you read the notes before class. And so that's what this is: drawing, study, what's due, and that sort of thing. So hopefully there's a lot of information on my schedule to try to keep things organized. If you ever have a question, make sure you just contact me and let me know. And so the kind of things that you're going to be doing in this class is the first project is a drawing, a hand drawing project, much like a flip book. Is if you were in a long, maybe if you ever made one, or you've had a book and every page has a little bit of drawing on it. It's a little bit different. From there, you're going to make your own. So, for example, this is a hand-drawn animations of things changing from one shape to another, a circle to a different shape back to a circle. Now, people chose to use this for different themes, so maybe it'll be an animal theme or a pet theme or something like that, and I find that to be quite useful to organize your thoughts. But the first project is something like that. The second project is a stop-motion project, and the stop-motion project is something that you're going to be using your digital camera with, and it's inspired by a film called A Cherry Tale by Norman McLaren. And you can check out the example where it's just a human being interacting with a simple object. And from that, you're going to see that there's just a bazillion different things that can happen with that. The third project is a motion graphic kinesthetic typography project where you can see lots of examples on YouTube where you animate type words. You take words and you're moving them. You move them in a way that's interesting, but in rhythm and in the phrasing of the actual speaker, the person that is speaking. And so you have to have your own audio track. You have to. We're going to be using Illustrator and Photoshop, and you're going to be creating your content or creating the materials that you'll be using, plus then animating them using After Effects. The final project is actually an interesting one where we're going to be using our green screen, and in that you're going to create an animation that has you interacting with a cartoon object. So we're going to actually go down to our Parkland TV station, and you're going to act out an event or something, and then you're going to add to that the cartoon elements. And so you're not, it's like in the movies where they have people acting with something that doesn't exactly exist in the scene. And so after we create that, that's pretty much the final project. So you're putting really everything together. That means you're manipulating the footage of the film with After Effects. You're applying effects to it, giving it a cartoon feel, but then you're drawing and creating an animation around that performance and putting it all together. So it brings everything kind of home at that point. All right, and so that's the basics of the class. Again, there's a lot of things that we'll be doing, but hopefully you'll find this to be one of your favorite classes. People really enjoy the content. I mean, we watch cartoons, we watch movies about animation, we get to animate, and it's just a great way to bring out your creativity and to learn lots and lots of new things, historical facts, and current things that are going on in animation. So I hope that was helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing you in class. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.